Raise your horns high and let your spirit flow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show. Feel the rush, let the loudness grow. It's the classic metal wrap-up show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Wrap Up Show is back. We're back. And we're going to be talking a little bit of Dokken today, a little CMS news and notes from last night's show. Apparently, Neely attended a Dokken show in Las Vegas, I believe is where the location was. And we have some evidence of said show and some tidbits to add to this. Andrew, I'm going to share the screen if you want to talk to them for just a second here.
Yeah, well, clearly, as you can see here, we got an image of your brother with Tom Zutaut and Don from the Golden Nugget the other night. Your brother was courteous enough to send that over to you, though. Look,
Yes.
evil, here we got her.
And for those of you, for the jackals and the Shelleys who say evil doesn't have any contact with Wendell. Wendell's my older brother.
Though, how did we get this picture?
Yeah, Wendell's my older brother, ladies and gentlemen. And behind the scenes, we're much closer than you might imagine. So let's say this is Tom Zutaut here in the AC/DC shirt. And we got the legend himself, Mr. Don Dokken, in the Puma hat, it looks like. And let's take a look. See here. Who do we have right here? Brother Wendell. And just for funsies, we're going to zoom in here a little bit. Bring it down. Look at the widow's peaks going on here, Andrew.
Yeah, that's it.
And is his head not a little bit oblong?
It absolutely is, but
But there they are in Las Vegas. I wonder, do you think Crenshaw took this picture?
Crenshaw probably did, because as we're about to show everybody, Don had both of his closest henchmen there, I guess.
He had to have two sets of hands, extra hands, besides his one good hand, to pull off this show, ladies and gentlemen. I believe, I didn't do my homework. Is this at the Golden Nugget like they usually play at?
It was.
There you
go. As you will see, if you listened to the CMS last night, you heard Don or Neely talking about how Don and George were cutting it up on stage. It was
cutting it up.
And we have footage of that. So thanks to Mr. Crenshaw.
Yes, we'd like to thank Dan Crenshaw of the Crenshaw Band for supplying a nice behind-the-scenes video. We're going to go ahead and review here for the next
a Wendell Eye View video at that.
Yes, and as Wendell pointed out, the show was sold out. He said it was a great show. Everybody was great. So no knock on that. Definitely looks like the house is packed, but let's also be honest. For Las Vegas venues, the Golden Nugget is a smaller venue, and it's kind of like playing a large club, small theater.
We'll say that.
Yeah. And so not that that's bad. I mean, Don and them did good business, fine, but this is the venue that hosts Firehouse, Great Whites, etc., all play at this place. LA Guns.
It's appropriate for the band.
For the band and the scene. They generally have those type of bands. So let's get over to Mr. Crenshaw's video. Now, for some of you who don't know who Dan Crenshaw is, he is the other Neely. When Neely's not around, usually Crenshaw can be found with Mr. Don Dokken. When Crenshaw's not around, usually Neely can be found. Sometimes, and this is a rare instance that we found, where there's a sighting of both in the same place at the same time. It's kind of like a Waldo thing. You're trying to search around for them and see if they can appear. So let's make this a little bit larger here. This is coming from the Crenshaw view from behind the scenes. And we will start right from the top.
All right.
Are you not hearing it?
No, you just got to click that speaker off to the side.
There we go. All right, hold on. Let me start from the top because you want to hear Crenshaw gives you a little intro right from the get-go. So here you go.
Yeah, I wasn't hearing it even when you click that. Yeah, no, I'm not hearing it.
Okay. It keeps turning itself off when I go back. Okay, hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties. I'm not Aiken IT.
No.
There we go. Now you should hear it. No, it turned off again. What happened here?
It's odd. Do you have to do that audio sharing thing again?
Maybe. Let me see.
Yeah.
Can you hear it
I cannot.
now?
No.
Okay. Let's stop this for a second then.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a fumbler. I'm an alien. I don't know how to operate this stuff. I just can't put my hands on it, Andrew. Let's see if we can screen share again and if this is going to work. All right, like this and like that. Now you should be seeing here. Let's put this up. Hold on.
Yep. Just need to
Let me
turn the
turn that.
Stay with me, man.
George Lynch with Dokken.
We're going to roll holes. Stay with me, man.
Why am I seeing? Okay, hold on. Hold on, people. This fucking thing. That has to be on. I'm trying. Can you see this green bar on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, how do I get that off there? Let me see.
That was up there yesterday. It's not going to be in the video.
Oh, okay. Thank you, bro. I can't tell what I'm seeing and what other people are seeing. See, people, I'm a moron. I'm an alien. What the hell I'm doing? Okay, hold on. From the top.
All right.
Oh, God, I gotta do it again.
We're going to roll holes. Stay with me, man. Building chopping wood, building shit, fixing shit. And it snows, and we're starting to find our house. Yeah, we don't want to. We hate doing this. I hate this stuff. I say we never play again. So tired right now. It's funny you're saying that because, you know, I'm a righty and my right hand's now paralyzed after 6 years. So
Oh, did Facebook cut us off?
It did.
Oh, Facebook.
Yeah, I want you to sign in. That's what the problem is. Okay.
All right. Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second here.
we never play again. So tired right now. It's funny you're saying that because, you know, I'm a righty and my right hand's now paralyzed after 6 years. So I'm trying to.
Okay, apparently Facebook is not going to let us watch this.
Yeah.
What the fuck? All right. Well, I do have something else I can show you guys here from the show. All this Facebook playing a video on Facebook is a friggin' nightmare. Let's take a couple of good looks at Donnie from the show. Here he is. What do you guys think about that?
He's choosing you to come and service
You.
him and get his coffee and his Jackson Cokes and changes the pet.
He's got he's got the hand here with the microphone.
And use
Is he still using the glove, or is he just got the power of the index finger that he doesn't need?
I think he's
Got it velcroed in.
he's able to do this now.
Oh, he strengthened it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Definitely, this has got to be a wig, right? This is wig.
Oh, of
here
course.
Coming out from, yeah, from out of the hat. A little extra something there to make sure it looks like he has
Might
the
be
hair.
glued into the hat like those things you could buy at sporting events.
Yeah, let's take a look at zoom in on this one too here. We'll give them credit. This is Truth to Power for Use show photos at the Nugget, and as you can see here, yeah, Donnie. As you can see, he's wailing here. He's straining the vocal cords. He's putting it all everything.
Grip, holding his teeth in. He is going.
And hold on, there's one more for you guys here. We'll give you this one. There's a happy Don. Yeah, that's the way we like to see our Donnie.
Zoom in on this because I want to make a point. Since we can't play the video, I want to go ahead and make the point that he claims that this jacket right here is in fact the original jacket from the In My Dreams video. It just doesn't have the fringe on it anymore. I question that. I don't think he said in that video that this is the original. I don't think it is.
Don said this, or Wendell did?
Don said this in that video that Crenshaw had, and this is the original jacket from the In My Dreams video. It just doesn't have the fringe on it anymore. And I'm not thinking so.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that video this week, and maybe next weekend's show we'll discuss whether this is another one of Don's debunk. Is this a debunking Don Dokken segment right here?
It possibly is.
But he's happy as can be here. He's been cutting it up with George. He's got Wendell and Crenshaw at the gig, so he's got more than his share of helpers. A happy camper. So let's discuss a couple of things that pop up here that are pertain to Mr. Don Dokken.
Real quick,
Uh,
if you can
yeah.
see this,
Oh, we'll do it this way.
I'm not thinking that's the same jacket.
Hold on, let me end this. Stop the screen share because it'll show us instead of that, and then we can see this better here. Do it again. Show it to me. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It looks like I don't see if those fringes are just hanging from the shoulders. Is that what's going on there?
I don't know. We'll have to see. He's saying it's the
But
original jacket. I'm skeptical of that.
would he still fit in this jacket from 1980, whatever?
Right. So it's not even the same size. That jacket seems to be wrapped a little tighter to his
And
body.
doesn't it feel like he and JY must shop at the same store?
Yes.
They
It
go,
does.
they go to the same hat shop.
Which is kind of funny because he had said back in 2010 that Styx was supposed to originally do that Norton antivirus commercial and they canceled, so Dokken had to step in.
They got the other lurch.
Yeah. They might
Yeah.
maybe they were shopping together and fuck Don, I can't make this commercial. You think you can get to this address?
You want? Yeah, there has to be some shop in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset, La Cienega, or one of these places in LA that has some leather store where they fit big guys with leather jackets and big goofy fucking hats to make them lurch around on stage and hide the fact that they're large and old.
Yeah.
It's an interesting look. Only a few can pull it off, for the record. But so Neely was claiming they were cutting it up. He said something on the CMS last night about how George kind of had a weird, I don't know, was it energy or sense of humor or
First of
whatever?
all, he threw George under the fucking bus at Don before the show. So what would he have done if Don lost
because of the
shit
comment,
and just completely threw the whole show off? Like, why the fuck did you do that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you wait? If you're gonna do it, why wouldn't you wait? But that also proves that Wendell has to run to Don. Lee said this about you, Don.
Don, he's not being very nice. He's not playing nice, Don. And that was because of George. George has made a lot of comments. Which was the most recent? There was I can't remember what it was though.
He compared Don to Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But for Neely, that's a compliment. Neely, that's a compliment, Don. Donald Trump is two Dons together would make the best Don package in the world. So let's bring up a couple things. One, Neely said it was sold out. Not going to be hard to sell out the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. I would have to Google it to see. Let's just do it. Let's not be Aiken and Wendell. Let's just find out what a sold out show at the Golden Nugget is here.
I mean, how hard could it be to sell 40 seats?
I'm thinking 500. It's probably a 500 seater or something, right? I don't know. Let's find out. Golden Nugget. So, and then he also, Las Vegas. So recently there was this claim from Don that for $1 million he would do a 50 date Dokken final tour. It's a 600 seat showroom. So sold out 600.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that seems realistic because I kept saying when he said they were sold out the Arcada, it didn't look sold out to me. The Arcada's attendance is about 900 and something. And so to me, I thought they looked about 100, 150, 200 short. So I'm thinking Don and them can generally sell about 600 or 700 tickets wherever they're going.
Probably, which would be like high school auditorium size
or small casino showrooms. Yes. So let's think about that for a second here. So Don is saying that, and he threw in some numbers with his $1 million request. He said something about, I can't remember how it broke down. Well, basically when I worked my calculator, if you had 50 shows, hold on, we're gonna do it like this. 1 million divided by, he wanted 50 dates. So Don himself to do 50 shows, right?
Right.
Wants $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's $20,000 for him per show. And I think he made a mention of the band getting 50,000 a show or something. I don't know where I saw that, but somewhere Don in one of the things on a YouTube clip said they get 50K. I think he's saying he would take 20K for singing and leaving the other 30K for George and the other band members to figure out.
Right.
Is how I was understanding it. So when I originally heard $1 million, I thought this motherfucker's crazy. But if you really think about it, at $20,000 for 50 shows, then that's not really that much more than what he's probably getting 15,000 for his current band without George on the road or whatever. So he's asking for
35,000. I've had this several times.
So either way you work the numbers, we see kind of what Don's asking for. That doesn't seem that reasonable. But what seems unreasonable, what I'm trying to say is that he can't do 50 shows. The voice isn't going to hold up for 50 shows. There's just no way that you're going to get quality vocalmanship for a 50 show tour. So unless he's talking about 50 separate weekends or something, or 25, 2 shows in a weekend and 25 separate weekends of final, spacing him out to where he can actually sing the shows.
Even if it's one a week, that's still the entire fucking year.
Yeah. And that means that, again, can Don sing one a week? No, I don't think he can. So I think he's doing 2 shows in a weekend, then taking 2 or 3 weekends off, and then doing a weekend with 2 shows, and then taking 2 or 3 weekends off. So I'm to get the amount of money he's talking about. This tour is going to be a 3-year tour with that amount of dates, or he has to step up his game and get the vocal coach and some warm ups. Maybe with his 20,000 a show, he's thinking he can afford somebody to help him out. I don't know. But either way, when I first heard the numbers, I thought it was insane talk. But then the more I worked the numbers, I thought, well, it's not really being unrealistic. It's just more than he's probably really worth. And the dates to get that amount of money is probably not something he can do. Or he could do it, but he would just be whispering the whole show. And you better pray to God that Jeff Pilson and Mick Brown are singing those backups at full volume to compensate for the lack of Don up front.
And then up the
yeah, and then you have to beg the question: is Jeff or George gonna take 10,000 a show? Because you probably have to give 10,000 a piece of those guys and 10,000 to the drummer, right? Or whatever your breakdown is. Right. So are those guys willing to take such a huge difference? But Don's almost getting double what they're getting. Is Jeff okay with that?
The least talented guy on the fucking stage.
So that's another question I had there when I was putting all this together in, Don's world, how he would operate this. So, but Neely's having fun in Las Vegas. That's all that matters, right? Friday night show.
Even though I couldn't sleep worth a shit.
Because he was too amped up. I was so excited from the big Dokken show, and all the electricity was in the air. It was flowing between Don and Wendell and Crenshaw and George. We were one big happy family.
I didn't tell this part on the show, but I walked downstairs. I had my outfit on. I was all rocked out, and I ran into that damn Crenshaw, and I said, well, this is great. Now one of us has to change.
And I looked at Crenshaw and I said, but you know what? Rock and rollers everywhere.
Rock and rollers everywhere.
Isn't that what he said to Ferentinos when he went to his hotel? Rock and rollers everywhere.
And Taylor just went,
And she was trying to mosey around in those shoes.
Looking
so
like
we might have to break down that video at some point in time too. Yeah. But so there was that news, and then so other happenings on the CMS. They had, I would say honestly for the CMS, it wasn't a bad show. I wasn't as bored as I have been in some other times past. Obviously there was more Green Bomb talk, and Aiken did break down his take of the Green Bomb scenario. And it does sound like Green Bomb was doing some harassment to Aiken and Ferentinos, with Aiken aware and present for it.
And he didn't say any more than I did, which made me feel good that I didn't overspeak. So,
yeah. And how someone who used to be on this show can be okay with them discussing it, but us not discussing it odd. So let's just say, as you heard from Aiken last night, regardless of extra allegations, the current working relationship between Ferentinos and Greenbaum was not ever going to continue. And apparently Aiken got blowback from Greenbaum to the point where Aiken was sounding like he wanted to have a word or two with Mr. Greenbaum.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Mr. Greenbaum, making enemies left and right, man. You don't probably want to be in LA if Bobo's at the gig, and you probably don't want to be in Ohio if this guy's at the gig, and you keep. Now you got to have, if you end up in San Diego, Ferentinos might show up at your, you're just making enemies left and right. Doesn't it not seem like? So,
Yeah. Not to mention,
Yeah.
I've seen a comment on one of the posts. I forget if it was Eric's direct post or one of the outlets that shared the news about it. And it was somebody that said, this guy has a reputation in Vegas and nobody wants anything to do with him.
and on
He just goes around
Green,
pissing off everybody.
well, and then don't you think if let's just say he had his wish and he keeps Monaco under his wing and he ropes Donnie out of his wherever place Donnie's camping these days, and you put this enough stuff back together and you get him on a cruise. What are you going to do when Ferentinos and Piercy and them are the headlining band and enough stuff is, you know what I'm saying? It's just you're creating.
If I might add in, I don't know for a fact, but from what it sounds, what I've been told on the Donnie V thing was Donnie, that Donnie was made aware of some things, and that might not happen.
Smart on Donnie.
Yeah.
As much as we can knock Chipper and his current lineup of Enough's Enough as not being Enough's Enough, you can't say there's any scandalous allegations coming from his lineup, and his lineup has been consistently on the road doing their shows and producing their product. If Donnie is going to hitch himself to a wagon, brother Donnie, don't be hitching to the Greenbaum Monaco wagon. You might want to talk to your old friend Chip and just say, can we make up, and we're the two guys that everybody wants to see on stage? Because really, I would like to see Monaco, but if he wasn't there, Chip and Donnie are Enough's Enough to me. You know what I'm saying? So that would be enough of Enough's Enough for me to attend the show. So, and you won't have as much riffraff going on in your personal life, backstage, et cetera, et cetera. So give me just 1 second. We're going to pause this for 1 second because I'm going to grab some information that we're going to need for this next thing I'm going to bring up, and I want to make sure I have my details right before I open my big fat trap. So hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. And we're back. All right. So I figured it out. Her name is Caitlin Doty, and she was the one who authored the book about Jack Russell. And I thought this was common knowledge. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it wasn't common knowledge. I thought for sure Aiken and Wendell, who claim to be close friends of Chip's Enough, would know that Caitlin Doty is Chip's. If it's not his girlfriend, it's now his wife. And she wrote the book. And I could have swore at one point in either a comment regarding the book or because I follow her on Instagram. And I could have swore at one point she made mention that she had grown close to Jack or got to know him better during the course of that. Do you remember the tour they did? I think it was right after COVID, where it was Jack Russell's Great White, Enough's Enough, and there was two other bands. I think it was like an 80s.
Yeah, one of those
package tours that went through some theaters or something. I think on that tour is when she got to know Jack more, and the discussion or the idea was hatched to write the book about Jack. And I think at that time he was still on tour and communicating and performing and doing stuff. I think as the book went along, his health deteriorated and she wasn't able to complete the book. Now, whether there's $30,000 of debt or not, I mean, only her and Chip's Enough are going to be able to confirm whether that's what they invested into this project or not.
Right. And to your point, here's a wedding invitation right here. They got married, it looks like, on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and it says right here, Chip and Kate. So yes,
there you go,
his wife.
There you go. So, and she's a pretty decent follow on Instagram. She's like a nice lady. So either way, the point is, and yes, I believe she did write other books. As Aiken said, they look like Shades of Grey books. I think she's a former dancer and entertainer type person. And I think she's also into the, I don't know, what do you call it? She does a lot of photos of herself where she's dressed in classic 1940s, 50s, 30s antique clothing, women's clothing and things. I don't know. It's like a style thing. I don't know. I'm not into all that stuff, but if you go to the Instagram, you'll see what I'm talking about. So anyways, yeah, that's how she came to be. That's why she wrote the book. Whether there's 30 grand invested in the, I would have no idea. I'm sure her and Chip would keep some receipts though, if they were planning on turning them into Jack at some point for payment back, or maybe she thought she was getting a cut of the book. There's her and Chip, ladies and gentlemen. There she is. Yes. Caitlin Doty.
With
So
some of the antique clothing on.
yes, there you go. Yes. And so that's how I'm surprised Aiken. And again, Neely, if you were on social media, you'd know that. Aiken is the one I was surprised didn't know that. I thought for sure Aiken would be aware that that's Chip's, because if he had questions, he probably could just call Chip and say, "Come on the show with Caitlin and talk about the book and why it didn't work out." They probably would do that.
And
if
Chip
they're
would
as tight
just say,
with.
"Okay."
Oh, hey Chris, how are you? All right, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, Caitlin will get on the line and talk to you. I love the CMS. That's like you're a great guy. You and Neely, great guys. So, yeah, but nice people, it seems like to me. It seems like a nice couple. Again, I don't think Chip's a bad dude. Seems like an upstanding dude. So, treats his fans well, as you can see on the social medias before every show. He's doing meet and greets and not even charging nobody, just taking pictures and shaking hands. So that's who wrote the book. Probably should check it out. Although it sounds like now we understand, even she knows there's fault. Now, I think that goes back into, and these are just allegations, rumors, and innuendo, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe my former host wouldn't want me to disclose this kind of stuff, but I'm going to do it anyways because I don't really care. It's the woman that Jack got tied up with towards the end of his life that was his nurse that became his wife. I think that's where the false information came from. That's where things went sideways. That's who Caitlin's referring to as to who she got the bogus dirt from and couldn't quite make the book factual. And my understanding, I thought, was like Jack didn't have a lot of other family, or not ones that he was in contact with, because if you looked at when he died, it was that nurse wife lady and another couple he knew from Colorado or something, but they were not his family or anything that were by his bedside. It didn't sound like there was kids or a brother or a sister so my guess is she had limited resources to ask for the history of Jack. You know what I'm saying? These people are all only friends of him for the last 10 years. They don't know what happened in 1986. So I think that's where that's coming from. Don't know why, again, Aiken wasn't, I thought for sure Aiken would be aware of that. But yeah, just wanted to explain that because I heard that going on the show. What else did they discuss last night? Was there any other interesting topics of note?
Oh, there was interesting topics. They got on a whole ways you can die rant.
Yes.
To where we learned that your brother almost perished in Lake Superior during his childhood.
Well, the Neelys were known for kind of having the older children watch the younger children and to allow Father Dayton and go off and do whatever Father Dayton does.
Procreate more kids.
Make more kids.
The problem is that your older sister was off doing her thing, and nobody could trust that damn Martin to pay attention to anything outside of his coin collection.
He was probably at the golf game. Yeah, or he was at the stamp show.
Yeah.
So Brother Deals is apparently doing some swimming in Lake Superior, which sounds to me, I think Lake Superior is a pretty large lake. It might be on the borderline an ocean, so might want to watch yourself when you're swimming there. And he hit a deep spot, is what do you call it? A drop off or something? I don't know. Maybe his swimming skills weren't quite his buoyancy. He wasn't couldn't do the dead man's float well enough.
Did he give a year? Because I don't think he did. So he just said when he was real young. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that I'm thinking like kid, not like
68, 69. He's
but
like
then,
what?
He would have been like 5,
6, 7 years old, 70, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, and you got to watch younger kids, shit like that.
Yeah, but that so the drowning was almost a Neely factor there, and We do have a Neely brother who died under mysterious circumstances, I believe, at the age of 13. So we will just. Anyways, we don't want to talk about that.
Sore subject.
Sore subject for the Neely family history. And but glad that Brother Neely survived. That the rescue from our sister happened, and he was able to be resuscitated on the beach or whatever. I wasn't even thought of at this time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the youngest of the clan, so Father Dayton conceived me on a truck driving trip out west. So this was the main brood that he had back on Lake Superior. That he was. But I would imagine he maybe was rubbing the suntan lotion on the mom or something while the kids were doing.
Yeah, and then just heard
Oh,
quit jockeying around.
Good job. Wendell, stop giving Lake Superior the shuck and jive and get out of that water. So poor Niels, damaged by the idea of drowning, and Aiken damaged by the idea of being incinerated in molten lava, burning to death.
You can blame him. I mean, fuck.
No, I'm not at all. Both of them. I could legitimately see how I'd be fucking scared of both of those situations.
I have that book that Chris wrote. I have all of these books, but that shit. Whenever, I mean, I know he's told like Cliff Notes versions on the show, but Jesus Christ. If you notice we don't make fun of that, there's a reason why. There's nothing fucking funny about that shit at all.
No, poor guy.
Yeah.
So that's legitimate for both of them. And yes, I'm with Aiken. We all just wanted to go to sleep and just not wake up. Or, like even Evil thinks, if you said drowning, burning to death, I think suffocation or something they were talking about, maybe just have a heart attack and go face down in my mashed potatoes at the dinner table. I'll even take that over, these other options over here. I'm looking to avoid water and fire being a part of my death at all costs. Maybe, worst case scenario, I'm Macho Man Randy Savage. I have the heart attack at the wheel and I wreck the car in the tree and everything's just over, so.
Right. But, I would say I can agree with them that nobody really wants to go in a way that they realize what's happening as it's fucking going down.
Yeah, that'd be the worst for sure. Yeah. I cannot imagine the Aiken situation at all. And Brother Wendell just sounds like a miss. He got too close to the ledge. He didn't know how deep the water.
Fumbling around.
It's fumbling around and was unaware of where the ledge was.
He was fumbling to get out of that womb.
Which is unusual for a Neely. We're usually very safety conscious. We usually would have our life preservers on while we're in Lake Superior.
He was crowning in the womb and coming out of his mother there and just like trying to split it open and go, can't seem to put my hands on it.
Poor Brother Neely. So we'll keep you out of Lake Superior. We understand if you don't want to go do the CMS swim competition at Lake Superior next summer. We'll leave that out.
As well as you don't go on any beaches, and if you stay on the ship the entire time you're on the fucking cruise.
We'll make sure we jot down no CMS barbecue at Lake Superior. We got to find a different venue for that. And then what other conversations they had? There was something else they had talked about that popped into my head and I can't think of it. What else? There was something else Neely brought. I should have took notes, but ladies and gentlemen, I was just enjoying the show and screwing around with uploading some of our segments. So, this is probably, since we're on the topic of Brother Niels, it's probably time. Ladies and gentlemen, as Andrew might explain to you here, some years back on the CMS, my brother Wendell told a tall tale of him going on a date with a fine young lady to
it was his girlfriend of at least a year or two. There was some.
And do we know her name?
Began with a J, if memory serves. I want to say
Julie.
Julie.
I think it was Julie.
Once or twice on the show. Yeah. So it's a deep dive. You have to pay attention.
Yes,
back during these days, I did pay attention. I mean, we know all this stuff for a reason. Everybody, how do you know this? Because I got ears and I pay attention.
We listen to the show.
Simply that.
And if you're like us, a lot, both of us, I think, listen to the show a lot when we were at work. When you're at work doing
Yep.
stuff, you have a tendency,
But
especially if you're doing something where you're just kind of monotonously doing stuff over and over and over and over, you have it, get your headphones or earbuds in and you're just listening to the show. And that's kind of keeping you entertained. So it logs in your head. And that's the best way to listen, in my opinion, because you're undistracted. You're doing something that you just do all the time while you're listening to this program. So Julie and Wendell took a romantic date to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And
his favorite city.
yes, and she made some claims that I think later really led to the breakup. Don't you believe? Is that really the seeds of the breakup? And she called him
A
a
fumbler.
fumbler. A fumbler. So fumbling around with his phone, fumbling around with things all the time. And so we did a little deep dive and we found that there was an old tune that kind of matched up and described Wendell and his current life. And so,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen,
it was Wendell's demo tapes. We found them in Wendell's garage.
there you go.
You found them in your dad's garage. I'm sorry.
Yes. Old, yeah, old.
You took them to Don and he baked
We had
them.
to bake the tapes. We had to bake the tapes. We had to bake the tapes to get him to play, you know. And so, anyways, we're going to bring to you right now. Enjoy. We'll come back when it's done. Here is the Fumbler.
Warning, 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 warning. Her claim is that it was embarrassing to be walking with someone who was always, quote unquote, fumbling. Fumbling.
Fumbling.
Fumbling. Where is this? Fumbling. Should have been more apparent.
Fumbling.
What do you want to call her? What's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, well, I'm the kind of guy that'll never settle down. And my father used to tell me, quit jockeying around. I got my
Part
phone
two.
in my hand.
Part
I'm a
three here.
Renaissance man. I'm on top of tech, so I can't understand.
Don't know
why. They call
why.
me the fumbler.
Fumbling.
They call me the fumbler.
Fumbling.
I'm always jockeying around, jockeying around.
Damn it.
Well, I took my girlfriend to Pittsburgh in 2019, and she gave me dirty
where is
looks and
this?
said, quit making a scene.
Should have been more
I
apparent.
said, what's your problem? Let's just move along. And
where
now
is
I'm
this?
sitting here and I'm singing this song. How she call me a fumbler.
Fumbling.
She call me a fumbler.
Fumbling.
I'm always jockeying around, jockeying
A
around.
fumbling. Damn it.
Well, we went to the Pirates game and afterwards we
And I can't seem to
walked back
put
to
my
the hotel.
hands on it for some reason.
Well, I stopped to watch the fireworks, and she said, we're over.
Damn it.
Oh, well, now I'm the kind of guy who gave her a ride
Part
home,
three. Where's
and
the
she
part two?
still
There's a
wouldn't
part
let
three. I know
go
there's
of the
gotta be.
phone that I had in my hands, 'cause I'm
Fumbling.
a Renaissance man, I'm
Where's the
on
third
top
part
of
here?
tech, and that's why I can't understand why they call me the fumbler.
Fumbling.
They call me the fumbler.
Fumbling.
Say I'm jockeying around, jockeying around.
Damn it. I can't seem to put my hands on it for some reason. Can't just make a U-turn in the middle of the road. Right. It's a safety up, and you just try to be cool about it. And you're just like, yeah, just relax. We're here on a nice afternoon. Damn it. And I can't seem to put my hands on it for some reason. Whatever, but it's always this berating all the time. Quote, fumbling.
And we're back from the Fumbler. Ladies and gentlemen, he's fumbling around and around and around. Jockeying around.
Like the jockey around.
And Father Dayton had to remind him to stop jockeying around. And even Aiken was asking Fumbler, he was like, what? But if you really hear that audio, it's very clear that Brother Neely has fumbled around quite a bit on the air.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he can't put his hands on the segment. He can't find it. And he's holding the show. He's like me. It's the same thing. This is a Neely problem. We're fumblers. We can't operate machinery very well. We're good at doing the gift of gab and the chit chat over a cocktail. But as soon as you want us to get technical about stuff, we might have to out-resource that, Andrew. Okay?
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed the Fumbler. I think that I don't know if Wendell will enjoy the Fumbler as much as we do, but this has now grown into something that we're exploring. He had another
Yeah.
tape that we found in the garage that might have
About
had.
about a very special summer in his life.
So I think by next weekend show we'll be able to update you with that one. It's in
Don's
relation.
making that tape right now.
Yeah, he's baking Don's baking the tape for us. He's going to get it over to Evil, and it's a cool jam. It's about a summer bicycle ride with Brother Wendell and his love of bicycles and
Right.
summertime.
How he
So
purchased said bicycle.
yes, how he had to earn his keep to get that bike. So which he still has in the garage, along
Yeah.
with his '74 Nova Super Sport and a couple other artifacts like the Dokken bike. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the Fumbler, next week we'll give you another one, and yeah, we're gonna be having to do some post production here. Evil's gonna have to get to work. We have some other unsolved mysteries we're gonna be exploring because, again, I keep saying it, but I just need to get down to shooting some scenes, getting Evil's stack into proper costume and on scene, on location for these. It takes a whole crew, ladies and gentlemen. I have to get cameramen and proper authorization, work documents together, permits, as they say in the industry. So. But you guys do deserve more unsolved mysteries. And I was trying to think, do we have any other topics to cover for today? I thought there
Well,
was
now
some.
that I'm thinking about it, because Wendell is the perfect specimen. Maybe speaking of unsolved mysteries, but is it possible that a unnamed creature lies and lurks in the depths of Lake Superior? And let me grab the young boy's ankle and
Pulls him
try to
under.
drag him to a watery grave.
It's very possible. And we will, I can't say if this will debut next week or the week after, but a gentleman who's starting to rise into the ranks of the wrap up show as possible a co producer or at least a strong influencer is a gentleman that you're familiar with by the name of Bob Leather. And Bob has pointed out to me that we might have to engage in a segment where we explore Brad Gillis's travel bag, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to discuss what would the red-haired lead guitar player of Night Ranger take on the road when he's on his travels as doing his touring across America. And Bob has some suggestions of what might be in that bag, and they may not be what you guys are probably thinking they would be. So we might have to put together a little montage with some illustrations to kind of give you an idea visually of what Bob's speaking of, and then we can discuss what you guys think would be in Brad Gillis's travel bag. We say Brad Gillis because, as some of you may or may not know, Bob Leather takes issue with Brad Gillis and some of his stylings and the facial hair, the workout videos, the swimming videos, and maybe just the overall demeanor of Mr. Gillis. It rubs Bob raw. He doesn't like it very much. Makes him uncomfortable like Ron Keel. So we're going to take a little look-see in what could be in Brad Gillis's travel bag. Again, I think you will be surprised at the things that Bob suggests could be inside this travel bag. So I think that's pretty much wrapped it up between what we covered for you in the last two segments and this one. You got a whole lot of something here. Bobby, well, thank Bobby Blotzer for dropping in on the wrap-up show and giving us some time. And I think going forward here, we're going to be hearing from some more people that you guys haven't heard from in a while. And we'll keep tabs, me and Andrew, on the rock and metal news, news and notes, as they say. And I think we might even have to do a Skid Row next chapter edition number 2, because there's probably about 30 or 40 other videos we didn't even get to. So I'll take a gander at some of those this week and find a few gems, and maybe we can explore some more Skid Row candidates. I don't know when they're actually going to decide this.
No,
Who
but
wins?
we'll have to keep up on it. Make
Yeah,
sure.
there's definitely some strong candidates. So any of
And
you out there seeking, good.
I was going to say, before we do wrap this up, I do want to take a minute. I know we bust balls all the times, but I do want to be serious in saying this. I actually want to say to both Chris and Neely, I do appreciate you guys covering the green bomb thing and actually
Yes.
addressing that. And that showed some backbone. And I do appreciate you guys actually bringing that up. So thank you.
Yes, rather than ignoring the elephant in the room, as we say, just address it head on. And that's what we chose to do here as well, because even though we're not directly involved, Andrew does message and has contact with Eric regularly. So there is
Yeah,
dialogue there.
I
So
would
we
say
are,
I'm not
it's
gonna
not like
chop
we're,
it up like we're best friends or anything, but I'm friendly with Eric. Like if I
yes.
message Eric, Eric and I will talk a little bit. So
Mhm.
which very nice guy.
Yes. And so we were aware of these things and what was going on, not just through a post on a
Right,
social
and I kept
media.
my
There was,
fucking mouth shut because I wasn't saying anything until and then once it got addressed, it was just kinda like once it got addressed and I seen other people posting videos, that's how I kinda knew, "Alright,
yeah.
yeah, it's you gotta now."
So, yeah. That's that. Thank you, Aiken and Wendell, for actually discussing it, and just like we did, and just calling it out and saying it's out there. And like Aiken said, you guys go read up on the comments yourself, and you'll get an idea of what's happening and not happening. And to
And
at,
perhaps now I don't know what might have happened with anybody else. I only know you and I's interactions with any of them, but I'm thinking maybe now if they do tune into this, yeah, we're gonna bust your balls, but understand we're just dudes being dudes, and it's not that fucking serious. So I don't know if
don't take
there's
it
other
personal.
beef elsewhere, and maybe that's why you thought that it was like for real hate. Yeah, there's some things like with the age gap with Wendell's dating habits that I personally kind of be like, all right. But and yeah, I laugh at a lot of the shit he says, but at the end of the day, really outside the dating thing with Neely, everything else is just kind of funny. It's not like he's a diabolical fucking person. I just kind of like with the women shit.
Well, Neely, I'm your brother, so therefore, no matter how much you may despise me or be happy for me or back and forth, we're brothers. Blood is thicker than anything else, brother. And as for Aiken and Neely, they should probably be aware. Brother Evil hates everyone,
That's right. And
everyone. So
I'm sure that if there was a family get together and your father had everybody out there at Lake Superior and Wendell had an issue, Evil would dive in like David Hasselhoff to save his brother.
I got you, Wendell. Thanks for the CMS. I'll do the fish at the carry and bring him back into shore. Absolutely. I would never let you drown, Wendell. And I wouldn't let him steal your car either. I would have gone out there like Rambo with an AK 47 and handled some business.
Rambo 4. Just would have seen you slowly coming up behind him and then took the machete.
I would have popped out of the porta potty that you see in the picture of his parking lot and just started shooting people. So, it's no way they're taking your car, Wendell. We can't let that happen. So, but anyways, no, as you can see, I've made all kinds of jokes at Vicky Vincent's expense and Bobby Blotzer's expense. And, on a side, even people like poor Simple Simon, the drummer, he even got lured into a segment where I was, what did Simon ever do wrong? So,
Yeah.
we're just saying, we just fuck around with everybody at this point in time. It's just having a good time. We're chopping it up. I'm a fucking guy who makes a joke out of everything because that's just what I do. And not to be taken seriously. If, again, I called in and spoke to my brother, if he would take my call, I'd call in this Saturday night and have a conversation with him. I have openly suggested a Neely versus Neely Good Time Radio Hour where we spin the hits, Andrew. Friday night show. We'll warm the CMS people up, and Jackal can type in all of his favorite requests, and me and Neely will chop it up and spin the tunes. So,
Nothing but Judas Priest and Richie Blackmore.
Richie Blackmore. We'll do some Rainbow, the best of Rainbow for a night.
Rainbow and Deep Purple.
Yes, that's his favorite right there. That's where his go-tos. So yeah, that's where it's at. We'll be back next week with some more stuff for you. Hope you enjoyed what we brought to you this week. We'll see what news pops between now and then. I will be securing myself some Sebastian Bach tickets for my show in May. I'm debating on Plush is on a Sunday night. Sunday night's a night I usually go to work. So do I want to miss a night of work for Plush? That's really what it boils down to. Miss a day of pay to see Mariah. Gonna have to weigh that out. It's a tough one there. But Sebastian's on my night off, and my son wants us to go see Sebastian. So I will be able to attend a Sebastian Bach show. And maybe see another person who should be auditioning for Skid Row, right?
Right.
And yeah, other than that, I should also mention in a few weeks there will be no shows for about 10 days or so. I will be on a long road trip to Las Vegas and Arizona for a while to get some sun and fun with my son and some family time. So, but between now and next couple of weeks, you'll be getting routine shows from here at the Wrap Up Show. And maybe while I'm gone, we can still arrange it for Kendall and Andrew to do a segment or something. We never know. We'll see what happens. Or maybe I'll check in from the road. I'll be like Green Bomb and I'll go on the road and all. Yeah, my own tour diaries.
Steel Piston tour diaries.
Steel Piston tour diary live at the Laughlin Casino. How about that? All right, y'all. Until next week, as Wild Mick Brown would tell us all to do, get your fist in there and say, "Taters!" All right, later, y'all. Yes.
Raise your horns